In this video, I'm going to show you and walk you through the 7 steps to build a thriving financial advisory practice without burnout or any guesswork. So stay tuned and you want to watch this video until the end. If you want this free guide, 7 steps to scale your skill set and 10x your impact and income without trading time for money, just comment below this video in the comment section 7 steps and we'll send it your way. You can download this bulletproof plan that shows you exactly how to become a sought-after expert, scale your financial advisory practice to the next level, and create financial and personal freedom. Now, this is a proven approach to closing more cases and bigger case sizes to reaching MDRT or C.O.D or T.O.D fast. If you want this guide, this free guide, all you need to do is comment below in the comment section 7 steps and we will send it your way. So let's get started. Building a thriving financial advisory practice, it's a system. Now a system has many components, and in this case, to build a thriving financial advisory practice, it has 7 different components that must be addressed. Even if we miss addressing one of the components, then we're going to be in deep trouble. So it's important that we take care and address each of these 7 components. So let's deep dive into it. So the very first component is your personal branding and positioning. Now, this is the very foundation of a successful financial advisory practice, a thriving practice. Now, this is so important because if we want to attract the right clients for our business, it all depends upon this single most component, and that is branding and positioning. Are you branded in an unforgettable manner? Are you positioned as the go-to person, as the only logical choice? So the only way to stand out from the competition and have a competitive advantage is through your personal branding and positioning. Now, I have seen many advisors across many countries, because every day I speak to at least 2 to 3 advisors. Every day I have meetings with them. And what we have realized is this, that even some of the advisors who have been in the industry for more than 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 30 years, they have not really done their personal branding and positioning, and they're still struggling. And during meetings, I ask these advisors who have been like 10, 15, 20 years, how many times have you achieved MDRT? They would typically say 2 or 3 times. Can you imagine that? And the only reason is because they forgot how to build their brand and how to position themselves as a go-to expert. But if we position ourselves as a go-to expert and become the only logical choice through our branding, then there won't be any problem in getting appointments or closing sales. But the question is, how do we do that? You see, most advisors think that just by putting up a team picture on their banners, or whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or any other platform, just by putting up some random quotations, that's branding. Well, that's not branding. People should know within few seconds. The attention span of people is so less that it's less than 3 seconds. And within 3 seconds, if they do not know who you are, how you're going to help them, then you lost them. So it's important that people know what you do, how you're going to help them, what result or benefit that they would get working with you, and how are you going to deliver that result. So that's the most important thing. So if you see here, what we need to cover in branding is, and even in positioning yourself, is who do you serve? And the next most important thing is what result or benefit that your potential client would get. And how would your potential client get that result or benefit? What's your method? So this is what we need to convey. This message has to be conveyed to the potential client in a split second. And how do we do that? By placing this message on our banners and by placing this message in our bio details. For example, if you look at my banner here, it shows you clearly, who do I help? Well, I help financial advisors. And what do I help them with? Or the managers, what do I help them with, and how I deliver the result. So that's the most important. And as soon as somebody sees this banner, and if I send them a connection request, they would easily accept my connection. And that's the most important thing. Whether it's your completion of your profile, like, is your bio complete with all the links to your social media? And what about your about section? Does it describe exactly what you do and what you help them with and how you deliver that result or the benefit? And the same thing goes on LinkedIn. Your profile has to be optimized to attract the right clients for your business. And that's the most important thing. In a split second, they should know exactly what you do, how you're going to help them. This is the fundamental foundation, the most important component. It starts here. This is the very foundation of building a thriving financial advisory practice. Like, for example, you could be putting up on your banner, well, I help working professionals to protect their income, to protect their wealth, grow their wealth, and retire earlier through a comprehensive financial planning process, or through a 5-step financial planning process. That's just an example. Or you could be writing something like, I specialize in helping business owners to protect their wealth, grow their wealth, and leave a financial legacy through a 3-step financial planning process. That's how we need to position ourselves. And especially on the banner itself, it's very important that you have a professional photo of yours where you're professionally attired with a big smile on your face. Why? Because smile attracts people, right? It's contagious. When people see your photograph, and it's more likable if you're smiling, and they get attracted to you easily. So these are the components that we need to put in place in your branding and positioning, and that's it. So that's the very first component. It's the very foundation of building a thriving practice. So that brings us to the next component, and that is, now we need to connect. Now, once your branding and positioning is in place, only then when you send out a friend request or a connection request, somebody would easily accept you as their friend, or they would connect with you, or they would follow you. So each one of these components actually stacks one above the other. So it's important to address each of these components. Now, how do we connect? And it's pretty simple on social media today. You know, it's very easy. You don't have to go and do networking and spend a lot of time networking and trying to connect with people, getting their business cards or exchanging business cards. You don't have to do all those fancy things that, and waste your time. It's very easy. Just a click of a button and a short, simple copy-paste message can do the trick here. You could be connecting with a lot more people easily on social media and across boundaries in any country. You don't have to restrict yourself to the area that you are residing. Now, entire country becomes your playground, entire globe becomes your playground. But it again comes down to whether you've done your branding and positioning. Now, how do we connect? It's very simple. Every day you could be sending out, even on, just let's take example, Facebook, right? We can send out 50 friend requests and maybe 10 or 15 of them would accept you. And that's what marketing is all about, filtering away people that's not interested with you and getting people who's interested with you. And just use your profile page, your Facebook profile page or your LinkedIn profile page to connect with more people. Send out the requests. And more importantly, you could also create, like, for example, a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, and just by a click of a button, you can invite them into the group. So that becomes your gated community of people that's really interested in what you're doing. So the most important point here to note is stop pitching products. Okay, don't post anything about insurance product because that will repel the people away. And that brings us to the next step actually, and that is, what is that you need to communicate? So stop communicating about your products because nobody wants your products. As soon as even your friends know that you're selling insurance, they won't even respond to your call or your messages. So it's important we must structure our communication to what people really want. What do they really want? What people really want is this. In our industry, what people want is to feel secure about their financial future. They want to feel that their financial future is taken care no matter what happens, no matter what event happens in their lives. And they want peace of mind so that they can focus on their jobs and or on their business. That's what people want. But here's the thing, then what is that we're going to communicate to them? Well, instead of pitching your products, now what we need to understand is a business solves problems. Remember that you're running a business. This is how you build a thriving financial advisory practice. This is a business. So business does only one thing. It solves problems. But here's the problem in our industry. People think that they don't have a problem. And that's where we come in as an expert. You come in as an expert to educate people. Yes, as long as you're existing, you're living, there is a problem. There are problems. There are financial problems that you're going to face. So how are you going to overcome that problem? What are the financial risks in a person's life? That's what you need to be educating with. As an expert financial advisor, you must educate people what are the financial risks a person would face. Whether it's hospitalization or disability or critical illness or even a matter of passing away, death, or building funds for education for children or even retirement planning. Now, these are all the risks that's there in a person's life, and it's important for us to educate that these risks exist. And once we educate that these risks exist, now what happens is there's going to be a lot more people engaging with your content. And when they engage with your content, that's when it gives you an opportunity to even message them and thank them for engaging with your content. And even creating rapport by when they connect with you, could say, hey, thanks for connecting with me. Stay in touch. But here's the biggest mistake that most advisors make. As soon as they connect with people, they start pitching their products. And that's a big mistake. Just say, hi, how are you doing? What do you do? And then let them engage with your educational content. And when they engage with your educational content, then it gives you an opportunity to message them and thank them. Hey, thanks for engaging with this content. By the way, and then you can continue the conversation that will lead to an appointment where it's important that we, qualify the prospect, qualify the lead. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your valuable time if they're not qualified. When I say qualified, they must be interested in what you offer, the solutions you offer, not about your products, the solutions that you're going to offer. How are you going to mitigate their financial risks? That's what they need to be interested in. And that sort of communication needs to happen. So we need to structure communication to what people really want and educate them about the financial risks in their lives. We have to really think differently because there's always a better way how we communicate and convey our message. For example, let me give you an example here. Well, a blind boy can be sitting at near the staircase of a mall, and he could have a board saying that I am blind, please help. Well, some of the passers-by may feel, empathize with the boy's condition and may put in some coins. But then a smart marketer comes and changes the board. And what does he do? He changes the board and he writes something, and then he goes into the mall and comes back and sees the hat is full. And the blind boy asks this man, so what did you write that my hat is full? The results are amazing. And the man says, I wrote the same thing what you wrote, but I wrote it in a different manner. And what I wrote is this: it's a beautiful day. I can't see it, but you can. Now, just by changing the way you communicate, it can change your results. How we communicate and convey a message, that really impacts people emotionally. If we have designed our content in such a manner, an educational content, where now they get to know you because of your branding and positioning, and They get to like you because you're educating them, and they get to trust you to some extent. If you want this free guide, 7 steps to scale your skill set and 10x your impact and income without trading time for money, just comment below this video in the comment section 7 steps and we'll send it your way. You can download this bulletproof plan that shows you exactly how to become a sought after expert, scale your financial advisory practice to the next level, and create financial and personal freedom. Now, this is a proven approach to closing more cases and bigger case sizes to reaching MDRT or C.O.D or T.O.T fast. If you want this guide, this free guide, all you need to do is comment below in the comment section 7 steps and we will send it your way. So that leads us to the next component. That's where you convey your message now, how you could help them. Now, once you started educating, people would ask you, hey, how do we do that? Or you could trigger that conversation by thanking them for engaging with your posts and then asking them, hey, thanks for engaging with this post. By the way, what goals do you have on this topic, whether it's retirement planning or children's education funding, whatever the content that you had posted? And from that conversation, you could qualify them very easily and convey a message of how you can help them. That's the message you need to be conveying. The offer is to help them to educate how to overcome that financial risk in their life. That's the offer. The offer is not your product. The offer has to be, hey, would you like to know how to overcome that financial risk and achieve your goals? Okay, good. Come, let's have a call. That's how you get a qualified appointment. Now they are interested. So the conveying your message, and that has to be an offer that they can't refuse. When you give them an offer that they can't refuse, you have a qualified appointment. It's as simple as that. But on the other hand, what do all the advisors do? They start messaging about their products and then start sending proposals and all that thing that doesn't work. And you end up trying to convince the lead or the prospect or even your existing customer, spend hours together trying to convince them to buy a product. Well, you don't have to do that. As long as you have a qualified appointment, they are interested in what you offer, and the offer is to help them, to educate them how to mitigate that financial risk in their life. That's it. And conveying a message can be done in many ways. Well, you could have a lead magnet, you could have a messenger conversation, it could be through a recommendation where they're introducing you to some of their close friends or relatives. So whatever method, or you could be doing a webinar presentation where actually you're describing the problem and the consequences and then offering a solution. And that solution should be an offer to get on a call with you so that you can show them how to mitigate that financial risk in their life. And whatever the method that you're going to use, the most important is to show them that there is a problem and show them why the problem has to be taken care now, not tomorrow, not day after, not next year, why it has to be addressed now, and then give them an offer to have a call with you and show them how it can be solved. And that's when you can get consistent appointments booked on your calendar every single day, every single week consistently. So that brings us to the next part where if you want to do like a webinar presentation, well, you decide the topic that you want to educate on, and then you promote that registration. You promote that event to get registrations. And then the next most important thing is you craft a presentation in such a way that you're actually educating them about the financial risk and offering, what should be the offer? It should be an offer to help, so that they get an appointment with you. And once they have an appointment with you, of course, you get qualified appointments, and then it leads us to the next step where you are going to close the case. So that brings us to converting that appointment into a closed case. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that most advisors make here is they go into a meeting, with some sort of concept presentations. Now, what we need to understand is those days are gone. Concept presentations are outdated methods because there are so many concepts that we could present. Maybe I have 20 different concepts here, but if I have an appointment with a prospect and I may think that, okay, this concept may be applicable to this person, and I have just one opportunity, and they may not be impressed with that concept. So concept presentation is not the right way. It's not the right methodology because you're just wasting your time and hoping that the person would like that concept. So instead of presenting concept, what we would want to do is when we go into a meeting, we have to be like a financial surgeon. Like a surgeon. What does a surgeon do? The surgeon will ask the right questions. Will ask the patient the right questions in sequence and does a diagnosis, uses some tools and does a diagnosis of the case. So the same thing applies here. It's important to diagnose what are the risks, show them what are the risks in their life and see what coverages they have and then see what potential risks they are exposed to and show it to them and then ask them what is that you want to take care right now and find out what they want. What does your prospect or your potential client or your existing client wants? And then you provide a solution to that problem. And part of the solution is your insurance product. And this is the most amazing method that can help you to, close more sales and even increase the case sizes instantly. So stop pitching products right, at the beginning of the call. So it's important you approach this like a surgeon, use a diagnostic approach. Ask the right questions. What do they want to achieve? Finally, show them what potential risks that they are exposed to and find out what they really want to take care and then provide a solution to that. And you'll be closing more cases and even bigger case sizes if we use this approach. So if you're able to find out what potential risks they're exposed to and then find out what they want to take care, you could provide customized solution and close more cases and even bigger case sizes if you use this diagnostic approach. Now that brings us to the next component in the system of building a thriving financial advisory practice, and that is to collect testimonials. Once you close the case, they are happy with the solutions that you provide, immediately get testimonials because it's very important to create that social proof. Now just imagine this. Let me give you an example. Just imagine we have two financial advisors. One has 0 testimonials. The other one has, let's say, 20 testimonials of people thanking the person, thanking the advisor and saying how awesome this advisor is and how they help them to take care of their financial risk. Let's say there are 20 different testimonials. And if this is shown to any prospect, now guess who's going to be more successful? The one with more testimonials, right? The one with more social proof. And this social proof testimonials can be put up on your website, can be put on social media. So that way you could attract more clients for your business. So collecting testimonials is one of the components that most of the financial advisors across the world lack. And how can I say that? It's because I've been training thousands of financial advisors across the world, especially in Asia Pac, and I see that most of them do not collect testimonials. And this is one of the most important components and one of the most important component that can elevate your success, that can elevate every other component. So it's important to collect testimonials and leverage upon these testimonials and use it to build a thriving financial advisory practice. And that brings us to the 7th component of building a thriving financial advisory practice, and that is to convert the customer or the client into a raving fan. Convert them into a fan. How do we do that? By providing excellent customer service. So when we provide excellent customer service, and that's the most important thing, and that really elevates our brand image, and that actually elevates everything, every other component. So build an excellent customer service and be there for the client. And most important, what would happen is, if we have done it the right way, if your approach has been like the way I showed it to you here, using all the other 6 components, if you've done it the right way, then your client would recommend you to their close friends and their relatives. They become your raving fans. So these are the 7 components that must be addressed, and each one of these components stacks one above the other, and it is important to address each of these components. And when we address all these components, that's when you have a thriving financial advisory practice. So let's summarize this. Step 1, your personal branding and positioning. Step 2, connecting and creating rapport and not pitching your products. Third component, communicating in a very different manner where you educate, create educational posts, educational videos about the financial risks in someone's life, and then conveying your message. The offer should be that they can't refuse. The offer should be to help them to educate about how they can overcome their financial risks in their life, and then to convert that appointment into a closed case. Use a diagnostic approach like a surgeon. Remember, you're a financial surgeon, not an insurance agent. And then collect testimonials when you close the case. That way you can leverage more using your testimonials as well on social media, so that you can attract the right clients for your business. And then the last but not the least is to build an excellent customer service and get recommendations. So these are the 7 different components that must be addressed, and each one of them are so important on their own, and each one of them stack one above the other. And when we address all these 7 components, that's when you can build a thriving financial advisory practice. So if you like this video, click the like button and share this video with who you think will benefit. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So in the comment section, just comment to me and let me know, what is your takeaway from this video? What do you take away from this video? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you want this free guide, 7 steps to scale your skill set and 10x your impact and income without trading time for money, just comment below this video in the comment section 7 steps and we'll send it your way. You can download this bulletproof plan that shows you exactly how to become a sought-after expert, scale your financial advisory practice to the next level, and create financial and personal freedom. Now, this is a proven approach to closing more cases and bigger case sizes to reaching MDRT or C.O.D or T.O.D fast. If you want this guide, this free guide, all you need to do is comment below in the comment section 7 steps and we will send it your way.